Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, we're doing a whole new project this time. We're building a new play center. But you're probably thinking, why does he have a semicircle of bricks? Well, I'll explain that a little bit more here. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be moving the playhouse that we have here that kind of looks like a gambrel barn. Well, it's going to get moved over to the side. We're going to be putting in what they call a corn crib. It's a old metal structure that they used to put corn in. Well, I was able to pick up one from my old family farm. So I'm actually going to grab that. We're putting it back together. It's got to have some work done to it, some metal that needs to be re-welded, and you guys can follow through and watch that as well. But we're going to make a two-story play center. And then we're also going to make a access up above so you can get to the zip line again. So stay tuned, keep watching, and see what we do on this project. There is a corn crib. We're going to be taking this corn crib out, cutting all the branches off, pulling it all out of here. We're taking it back to my house. It's going to get built, put together. There's going to be some lights in it, some floor, second floor in it, so the boys can go off of their zip line. So we're going to be working on this, but as you can tell, it is a very long path to get up through here. All right, we made it into the corn crib. As you can see, inside, you can see up and around. We've got all that done. We had to cut our way into the door. I'll show you that right here. Got some limbs here. Got these that we had to cut to get in, guys. And if you look there, that was what was holding the door closed. So we got that cut off, stuck the pole saw in there. But overall, it's pretty sturdy. I think it's going to work out pretty well. And we got everything cleared out around. So we should be able to get this down the rest of the way. We've got the bottom section out, and what we're going to do, we originally were going to get a crane lifted up, but with as much rain as we've had in the last few days, the ground's so soft, didn't want to get that in here, plus the tree above it and everything else. So our plan is we have two jacks on both sides. We have boards right here. Those are 2x6s, maybe even 2x8s, closer to 2x6. Anyway, it was old barn lumber. It was still good. We put 2 bolts through it, and we put some washers and boards on the outside, and we tightened it so that way the supporting is all going into those boards right now. We were able to take out the other sections. We put those off to the side. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to slowly lower this down. As we lower the jacks down, we unbolt these, bolt them a little bit higher on the wire, and then lower them down a little bit more. Then jack it up slightly, raise them up more, lower them down a little bit more. So we're going to continue to do that on all 4 corners. We got 2 jacks to do that. It'll make it real easy. So that's what we're at, and hopefully we'll have this thing sitting on the ground and we'll be able to work on it a lot easier. There it is. There's the rest of it. We have it. There's pieces, there's parts, there's things that are going to have to be redone. Some of these roofing panels are going to need to be taken apart. I would have loved to do a video of us taking it apart, but I didn't want anybody to die of laughter because it was quite humorous at some points. But anyway, we've got all the top pieces. This is the part that was 6 foot up to 12 foot. And those are all the panel pieces. Those are all going to need to be redone and fixed up, but we're going to make it happen. This is the back edge of the project. These are the bricks we're using. Some of them are flat bricks, some of them have angles to them. So what I did is I actually picked these up from another project. Somebody was getting rid of them. So instead of them going to the dump, I said I could utilize these for another project. And now I'm able to use them on a new project. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to power wash all these up, clean them up, make them look better. Then we're going to cut this ground out to level everything out perfect so that when we go to lay the play center or the corn crib on top, it'll lay right along the top edge of this groove. Then we're going to be putting some wood, or we're going to be filling this in with something. Haven't figured that out yet exactly what we want to do there, but this is going to be the outer edge. This gives us a nice foundation all the way around, and we'll be able to put our second story in, and everything will be braced off the second story because we'll be putting holes into the ground that we can lag screw into to hold everything in place. The Jeep Wrangler here does a great job. Absolutely love this thing. I've had it a couple of years. Didn't know if I'd like it that much, and I absolutely love the thing. So we put it to the test, pulled it across this wet grass, and it pulled the barn just fine. So anyway, a couple years ago when I did lower this barn down to the ground, it was up on a second level. Lowered it down, I put it on a new platform. So if I ever wanted to move it, or say the boys get older down the road, I can turn it into a small storage shed, a little pool house, whatever I need to use it for. But I put it on sleds so that I can just slide a chain around it and pull it wherever I need to. Now that we have the barn moved out of the way, the next step is to take this center post right here. We've got a chain that we're going to be using, and we're going to mark out exactly 6 foot 2 inches. So that gives us about 4 inches of play room, a total of 2 inches on both sides for the corn crib. And the bricks have a little bit of a lip on them, so this way we can actually use that little play area to kind of move the bricks in and out a little bit if we have to. So that's what we're going to be doing next, is we're going to be marking it out by putting this on the ground, making a nice circle so we know exactly where the corn crib's going to be. Now we've made a full circle around using that chain, made a great radius all the way around. This gives us an idea of what plants we have to move and which plants we don't need to move quite yet. We're going to be redoing this out here. We're going to be scraping all this sand back into the corn crib because we want the sand inside the corn crib, and we're going to be putting finer sand on top of it. But we're going to move these plants. They're going to get moved and rearranged along with those over there. Then we're going to have some probably move along this corner here. But these inside of here, they're going to have to move, find a new home. And if you notice, we came right up to the pole, came right back to that pole back there. So our measurements were pretty close. There's the center of where our play center is going to be, but we're going to have to take out some of this ridge all the way around. This is a low spot back here. So what we're going to be using is a laser level that spins, and it'll tell us where we need to go higher, where we need to go lower, and once we get all this leveled out. All right guys, what we're going to be doing here is I'm using a laser level. It spins and it puts a line out and tells you how much we have to take out. This area right here is the lowest. It is 4 inches lower than that area up there, so we've got to bring that dirt in and put it in the center here because that's going to get all filled with sand anyway. And then with the block in there, we can make it nice and thick. So up there, all that's got to come out, get pushed back. This is high by 3 inches, so there's quite a bit of a drop from there down from what I can tell. And the easiest way to do this is that if you do have a laser that you can level, especially one that's a laser level like that, you take a ruler, yardstick, and you can turn it upside down and you turn it upside down. What you do is that, say the laser hits right here at 9 inches, okay? At this pinpoint here, I've got a pinpoint in the ground, it tells me where I'm measuring from. I measured from there. If it hits 9 inches here, and you go to the other side, and it goes up to 13, where your measurement is, or where your line is, then you have a 4-inch rise in the ground. Similar to the way surveyors do it, but this is real easy with a yardstick. Again, if you start out at 9 here, and then you move to the other side, and say when you measure the other side, the laser hits at 13, being that it's already leveled, then that means you have a 4-inch rise in ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to skim out some of the soil here, and we're going to skim off some of the sand here, and we're going to pull it all around and make it work. All right, we've got our 6x6 in the ground. It goes up to about 14 feet tall, 13, 14 feet. It's buried in, concreted in, that thing's ready to go. We're now going to be putting in 4x4s. One will be on that side, one will be on this side, and then we're going to have a couple more as we go around, so it's going to have plenty of support underneath of it in case a bunch of kids want to play on it. Then we're going to put 2 up here in the front at corners, and then we're going to put a little loft ledge that you can look out over the top edge as you're coming in. But that'll be up here. But right now, what we're going to do is clean up the back side of this board straight across to a 4x4, and it'll line up with the back side, and we'll have another one line up on the other side of the back side. Then we'll put that support beam in, we'll nail it in, and it'll hold straight across. Because we have more platform on the back, we're going to put our support piece all the way across on the back side. This is the board we're using. We'll put our 2x4s on the front side. We're going to drill a hole over there, drill a hole over here. Two more in there at least. Okay. All right, guys, as you can see, I'm sitting on top of the platform. We've thrown up some of the decking boards, and you can tell behind me is the pole for the zip line. Zip line runs right out to that pole right there. It's currently attached to a pole that's over there, but it's going to get moved to this pole here, and you'll be able to zip line out of the top of this. It's going to be pretty cool. But all these boards, the deck boards, they go out over the edge. We haven't put the upper ring on this corn crib yet, because what we want to do is mark from the bottom side. We're going to use a scroll saw. We're going to flip these boards over, cut it, flip them back over, and then we're going to nail these into place. We got all the structure put in, all the beams are put into place, so we've got our floor joists. Here's the completed corn crib. We have lights out on the front. We put a fake screen door in and fake windows, as you can see. My wife planted these plants earlier this spring. We've had it done for a little while, but finally I'm getting out here to do a video of it. It's pretty cool. Spin yourself around on this side. You will notice that we have the zip line going out through the top. Goes right down through here and right out into the backyard. It's a lot of fun. And we'll go inside. Well, let's go right inside here. Got the sandbox area in the bottom. Got the ladder going to the upstairs. And all the panel pieces had to be at least worked on a little bit. But I've got just an opening here left, and then I've got a cap to put in here. I'm finishing those pieces up, but here's the zip line going out. Got some corn stalks from the garden, but each one of these pieces had to be redone on the ends, so we redid those. We got a nice little railing out here on the front. It's pretty cool. But the kids really like this. It's a lot of fun for them. And we did add one extra little touch, which if you look out here, We put some LED lights at night. It kind of lights it up. We can change the colors. That's pretty neat. We added electrical out here. It's just allows us to run anything we need to out here, lights, or if I need to work on something with one of my tools, I can. But it gives you a really nice view from up here. You can look out across the backyard. But as I said, this was a fun project. I got to work with my dad on it again, and it's just the boys like it. They had a lot of fun playing in this, and hopefully they can continue to play in this. And this, you know, project meant a lot to me since this was something I got to play with at my grandpa's, and so I got to move it on and get to use it here, and my boys get to enjoy it. So thanks guys for watching. Subscribe, follow along, and we'll see you in the next video.